I thank the Most High, man. Like I call this inner Passover or inner Passah, as a lot of the Abarim Hebrews would like to say. We living in a time where we know people are waking up and we know who we are and where we come from. You know, we know that this is not the land that, you know, we came from. We understand we came from the east. There is no middle. We understand that, you know, we still here in Greco-Rome going through some of the same stuff Mashiach and all of our brothers and sisters before us was. We're starting to understand that we need to keep the commandments, which is the words or instructions of the Most High, right? It's like a parent tell you to clean up your room, or a parent tells you to make sure you wash the dishes, and keep your area clean, you know, and they give you certain different types of chores to do. And parents also give you the freedom to get them done and expect you to get them done, right? But along the way, without the guidance, without the true guide, you wouldn't really know how to go about doing these things. If you was never shown, or it was never really given to you like the blueprint on how to do it. And there's a lot of brothers and sisters that's keeping it. They're keeping the Shabbats, they're keeping the new moons, they're keeping different things like that, right? But sorry to tell you, it's a lot of people out there that's going to believe that's the meat. A lot of people going to believe that that's the official meat to eat. But actually it's not. And a lot of people are still on milk, yet still keeping a lot of these commands, right? And when we were going, our people were going from out of Egypt, Mitzrayim, you know, to get to the promised land, the journey, right? We went through the wilderness of Sin, or Sheen, right? Which was equivalent to something very sharp and fierce to go through. Something that was eating. You say Sheen or Sin, right? It's something that eats. It's supposed to be eating at something. When the Ruach comes in, Isaiah chapter 40, the Ruach comes in, you know, as grass we wither away. The prophets spoke, and they spoke very well. And they had an understanding even in that time what it was really about and what was going to cause many of our people to fall. And what caused me to fall a lot in my past, which I think the Most High, He's stopping me from a lot of these falls, because we're supposed to be growing up. And to grow up, we got to do better. And doing better, we have to really understand what the Most High was really saying by a lot of the commandments that was being given. You have a lot of carnal people out there who really believe they can keep these commandments by themselves without the Spirit of the Most High in them to keep the commands, right? If the Most High commanded you something that you can't go into this book and specifically read exactly the way it's printed in English, would you say that that was just a spirit speaking to you? Would you say that was the devil that caused you to stray from the will of the Most High? If the Most High specifically told you to do something and you didn't do it, that was breaking the command. You don't have to actually go and find it word for word like you would like to see it printed right here, but I don't want to speak my own words, and I'm speaking from the Ruach. That we could keep the feast all day, and we could keep the Shabbats carnally, from a carnal perspective of understanding that we dropped the ball. And we can teach it to our children. And we can pass it down generations to generation. And yet still miss the mark. What is the mark that we're missing? You know, Deuteronomy chapter 6, starting at the 4th verse, is Hero Yasha'al, Israel, Yahuah, Aluah or Elohim is one. Aluah or Elohim. And you shall love Yahuah with all your heart. Which is the mind. Not the carnal mind, but the mind of the Ruach, the Spirit. And with all your soul and with all your might. And these words which I command you this day shall be in your heart, shall be in your mind, in the spiritual mind, this inner man, right? And you shall teach them diligently unto your children, and shall talk of them when you sit in your house, and when you walk by the way, and when you lay down, and when you rise up. And you shall bind them for a sign upon your hand, and they shall be frontlets between your eyes. And you shall write them upon the post of your house and on your gates. And it shall be when Yahuah shall have brought you into the land he sware unto your fathers. See, they wasn't there yet, right? And which he sware unto your fathers, to Abraham, to Yashak, and to Yahuah, to give you great and goodly cities which you build not, and houses full of all good things which you filled not, and wells dig which you dug not, vineyards which and olive trees which you planted not, which you planted not, when you shall have eaten to be full. Then beware lest you forget Yahuah, which brought you out of the land of Mitzrayim, and the house of bondage. Right? I'm not about to get super deep. You shall fear Yahuah and serve him, and shall swear by his name. You shall not have any others after the Most High Yahuah, of the people which are around about you, for Yahuah is a jealous Aluah among you, or Elohim, lest the anger of Yahuah be kindled against you and destroy you from the face of the earth. You shall not tempt Yahuah as you tempted him in Massah. You shall diligently keep the commandments of Yahuah and his testimonies and his statutes which he commanded you. And you shall do which is right and good in the sight of Yahuah, that it may be well with you, and that you may go in and possess the good, in which Yahuah sware unto the fathers, to cast out your enemies from before you, and as Yahuah has spoken. And when your son asks you in time to come, saying, What mean the testimonies and statutes and judgments which Yahuah have commanded you? And you shall say to your son, We were Pharaoh's bondmen in Egypt, and Yahuah brought us out of Egypt with a mighty hand. And Yahuah showed signs and wonders great and sore upon Mitzrayim, upon Pharaoh, and upon all his household before our eyes. And he brought us out from thence, that he might bring us in to give us the land which he sware unto our fathers. And Yahuah commanded us to do all these statutes, to fear Yahuah, for our good always, that he might preserve us alive as it is at this day. And it shall be our righteousness if we observe to do these commandments before Yahuah, as he hath commanded us. Alright? I read all of that to read and not to be carnal and sit here and talk about things that we still err doing. There's a lot of people that err. They're boastful about their fringes. They're boastful about all of the commandments that they're keeping. They're boasting that they're keeping the feast days and others are not. And they're teaching, which we should be teaching, repent for the kingdom is at hand. But in what way should we be teaching it, right? Because that specifically was that was a foreshadow of what was to come. That the Ruach will be put into our bodies, this house, this temple, this body as a temple, that the Ruach Ha'Qadash, the Spirit of the Most High, will come into and will begin to tell us what it is that we need to do. Most High is not asking us. The Most High is telling us to do these things and commanding us to do these things. And whatsoever the Most High commands you to do, that therefore shall you do. Even commanded by Masha, who was given these tablets because of the constant sins that was picking up with the people, because of their unwillingness to obey what the Most High was saying, or stubbornness of heart, hard hearts, right? I'm jumping around, but the Ruach is just showing me many different visuals of how, like, the Mashiach was teaching, and Masha was teaching, the prophets were teaching, and the main thing they focused on was observing to do all that the Most High said do, without having to look at something only being written down, but those things which were passed down on how to do it, and the understanding behind these things. Yes, we need guidance, we need counsels, but if we do not have the Ruach, the guidance in us, it means nothing to sit here for me to do what I was just doing right only, which behind this screen, I'm observing to do whatever the Most High told me to do, and when He told me to do it. And it won't only just be on an annual, specific time, every time through the year. You know what I'm saying? When you have a true relationship with your spouse, you don't only want to just give them at specific times all you should be to them, because it's fake if you put it down and write it down on the calendar. A specific time you're going to be in their life, and a specific time you're going to go on dates with them, which is cool to be able to have your nice little date time, nice little times that y'all plan to go out and do what y'all got to do. But if you waited into a specific date to give your everything to your spouse, it was fake from the beginning. If you can't show that to them leading up to that time, it should be a surprise every single time to them. The love that you show, it should be like a foreshadow of the unconditional love the Most High shows for us. But we can't even show that to each other if we don't have these things written in us. And a lot of people are missing that the Most High said He was going to put the commandments into us so that we can have these commandments in us and live and be free in doing these things, but not free from it. You see what I'm saying? Like, the Most High's love is unconditional for us, with terms and conditions. You know, it's still a lot of Christian doctrines and a lot of messed up religion tied into a lot of the things that a lot of the people are trying to do. And we end up going back to a very hard place. What do I know? And how do I know this? It's because I was super hard with it, acting like a Pharisee with a lot of these things that I learned, you know what I'm saying, commandments that I was trying to keep back and forward. You see what I'm saying? Commanding those that I was around to keep it in the way that I believe Yah was saying keep it. But actually I was becoming more and more stony-hearted and hard against those and oppressing them and suppressing the Ruach that could have weight in them, right? And if we don't keep if we don't pass over from the flesh to the spirit, you see what I'm saying? We don't pass over from a carnal place to a spiritual place. We're going to be stuck in Mitzrayim. Mitzrayim actually was a foreshadow of our bodies. You see what I'm saying? Even when you think about Canaan was like a foreshadow of the Ruach. Or the land flowing with milk and honey was a foreshadow of the Spirit of the Most High being in us, which was the land promised unto those that they will go into, and they will be able to inherit these lands and the promises the Most High said to come along with them. And Mitzrayim, if you think about your body, you think about your carnal body, we're going through a wilderness right here, passing through and going out of the land of Mitzrayim, going through a wilderness or going through that scene, right? We're going through a wilderness mentally. A lot of people still mentally bound, still proclaiming to be free, wanting freedom, proclaiming freedom, yelling how free we are, yet we're still bound in the way we treat each other. You know what I'm saying? And I'm not sitting here trying to preach and teach and stuff like that and yell, or, you know what I'm saying? But I made this tune for the very reason is the Most High made this tune through me. I knew it was going to be made because I seen the vision of it before I even created it. And the Most High told me when I created, don't even make no beat to it. Because people are so, you know what I'm saying, strayed away by the beat of everything. And passing over, to be a true Abar or Abarim or Hebrew, right? We have to pass over from the flesh to the spirit. If we can't understand these things that the Most High was talking about spiritually, we're bound. And we will be causing even worse oppression than the oppressors caused to us, which a lot of people are angry at and want revenge. But you should want revenge on yourself for not understanding or for coming against. Even some people was poured out the understanding and still chose the flesh. And I don't want to choose the flesh. And you don't have to choose the flesh once you have the power of the Most High, which is known as the grace, right? That goes beyond having compassion of the Most High. When we truly pass over out of this bound place of how we treat each other, according to the commandments that He would He would put these words up in our mind and write them up on our ways, right? He would cause us to be able to remember them to be put into us, and us to be able to walk these things out without me having to sit here and beat people or stone them with what people are not doing. You know what I'm saying? And yes, there's a lot of things that is not being done, but I'm not sitting here stoning people with the commandments. I'm sitting here letting it be known that what is in me, what's working in me, is greater than the tablet. It was the words that was on it and not the tablet itself. But a lot of people praise the stone, and a lot of people praise the wood, or a lot of people praise paper or a Bible, when it was meant to be put into us the whole entire time. A lot of people miss that there is a plural body that represents the singular movement that's being done inside of us. A lot of people are missing what it really means, these codes that are really being broken down in the commandments of what these things really represent. There's so many that's rejecting the Mashiach, and it's being prophesied all throughout the Torah and the Nabi'im, the prophets, that are speaking and that are showing the way better than they can only tell it. And if any time any of the prophets spoke, it's because the Most High gave them revelation through their lives, and they was able to show the way through their living or through the rejection that's being put up on many people. Actually, it's few, but it's many of the real true Nabi'im and the real true ones that are following the way, that are being rejected because they don't wear fringes, or because their beards are not super long, or because they don't keep the commandments according to the carnal way that a lot of the Yahudim did not recognize the Mashiach they was walking with, saying the Mashiach was coming, and was yet stoning the Mashiach with their words and their actions and their deeds. John chapter 8, it mentioned about how you had a lot of the Yahudim who knew that they were the seeds of Abraham, but they were rejecting their salvation. They was rejecting the spirit of the law. They was rejecting the spirit of the law. And they rather wanted the tablet. They wanted the stone. They wanted the unrighteousness of it, the carnal way or the carnal perception of the law, which was causing the mind to become hard-headed and was causing the heart to become stony, which is still the same thing. Because if we hard-headed, we won't listen. If we're hard-hearted, we will not feel. We would become numb in the things we do, and we'll constantly say we don't care how people feel. We don't care what people got to say. And a lot of these things have caused us to end up fighting and coming against the true Nabi'im and the true teachers, kings, priests, the true ones that were set up. Even there is women that the Most High raised up to teach the way. You see what I'm saying? There was even though men and brethren, as the word spoke, that was following the way. There's still an order to it, but it's being missed. And the N-word Passat And a lot of the feasts are still being broken because they're missing the main point and the main piece, which is salvation, that reconciled and mediated us back to the Father. It was always about the Word, and it was always about the oneness, and not a bunch of spirits out here tripping and moving and going crazy. You see what I'm saying? And causing us to not know the way. The Most High has always been right here with us, truly showing us the way and how to come out of this bondage through healing, truly mentally, from a lot of traumatic things that we've been through and oppression because of misunderstanding. A lot of times, a lot of debates and battles are caused, which not all debates are bad. It's some good things that can come out of a debate. But if a debate is heated and nobody wants to hear each other or go where the Most High is taking them, you see what I'm saying? Then it's just constant roaring and constant eye for eye and tooth for tooth, which we're not supposed to be about anyway. How can we say that we uphold the Mashiach and yet still stone each other, and yet still break a lot of these different commands, even forsake what it means to pass over? When the bread was being given, he said, "Take, eat, this is my body." These are his sufferings. This is the carnal being died out. Take it and eat it. Agree with me. Aman, right? Or Amanah. We love to say Aman a lot, but we forsake to suffer through the true way, to kill the ways of our flesh. A lot of carnality is being raised up, and a lot of people are forsaken away, and it's causing for a lot of people to miss the mark. You see what I'm saying? It caused them to backbite and be in contention and strife against the true ones that are being raised up to show you the way. How can a light truly shine? And drinking this cup in an unworthily manner, which is forsaking the spirit of what this was really about. The flesh being broken up when the Mashiach tore and broke the bread was the tablet being broken as well in the time of Mashiach. When he threw them tablets down because of the sins that was being committed by the Yasha'al, that was the body being broken up and the words being heated. But the anger and it caused Mashiach to almost go on the wrath because of the sins that a lot of the people were doing. He went back up. The Most High gave these things back to him even more, which was the true restoration of the word being put on stone. These stones was representing what the heart and minds of the people really looked like. A lot of the stones that a lot of people were stoning people according to the Torah, not understanding what that was really saying. They was taking stones and stoning people according to the Torah of Mashiach. And a lot of these stones people was throwing at some of the prophets. And the stones were a representation of their heart. But there's so much pouring out that the Most High gives to his true ones, and all things that we need to know on a need-to-know basis is being given. And so that maybe one could come out of this misunderstanding of being so hard-hearted with the perception that we think we got when it comes to keeping the commandments and keeping the way. You can forsake the way thinking that you're keeping the way and come against the prophets. Don't be one of these people that come up against the way of Mashiach and salvation. You forsake your salvation while yet still proclaiming and have it. You could be losing it and missing the way. I don't want to miss the way, which is why it's a constant submission of this flesh and a constant journeying and a meditation that is deep inwardly, and where you could go to such a great and mighty place in Yah, where the garden of Adan has now been hidden into you, where the Passah has now been hidden into you, where the Feast of Trumpet is now in you, where you become a living shofar, sounding out and causing out the blood to fall on your hands by not lifting up your voice. You could call a lot of the booths being hidden inside of the booth, right? Being he that dwell in the secret place of the Most High shall abide in the shadow of the Almighty, which is to be in his presence, to have his presence within you and in your mind. The greatest blessing that we got during this Passover that a lot of people are not taking hold to, which is this eternal Passover, right? Where actually, I don't want to say just only, you can have the eternal feast with the Most High, but pass over from your flesh to the spirit into a place where no longer are you now operating by your flesh, operating by how you feel, and operating about what understanding we think we got from the Word, but understanding that the Spirit is given where we do not speak from our own selves, but we speak from what the Father has given. And His Word is sharper than any two-edged sword. So now we be given the words of eternal life, which can cut to kill or cut to heal where it's necessary. And a lot of things that are sharp that people have misunderstood. A lot of them, they found that there was Abraham's seed, came against Mashiach. Mashiach agreed with them and said, I know that according to the blood, that you are Abraham's seed. Or according to the passing down, that you are Abraham's seed. But you reject me. You reject your salvation. So for that very reason, you are children of the devil. And your deeds are wicked. And the deeds are condemnation. A lot of people, if they don't keep these things, and I'm not coming against the feast. If you want to keep the feast, then keep the feast. But if we don't get the intention why the Most High gave these feasts, then we're not going to understand what the Most High was really saying and what the Most High was really doing in the first place. Why is it that we, according to the customs of men, which a lot of customs of men are starting to being given upon what they think the Torah meant, where they mind starts going into a Talmudic joker, jester type of deal, you know what I'm saying? Like that clown off of The Simpsons, you see what I'm saying? Where there was an episode about that, like Father, like Clown. We end up becoming like a lot of them. A lot of the false ones, according to the blood, a lot of them Ashkenazis, a lot of them Greeks, that ended up believing that they was the true Yahudim, but according to their deeds, they're a synagogue of Satan. And you could be a synagogue of Satan according to your deeds and still be true Yahudim according to the blood. Because Mashiach said, I know that y'all children of Abraham, I know that you are the children of Abraham according to the seed. But according to your deeds and according to how y'all coming against me, I say that y'all are children of the devil. And I say that y'all are not the children of the true Most High, because you would have received me. And Abraham seen me from afar off and rejoiced to see my coming, to rejoice to see my day. And then there's a lot that miss, that reject. And to you who truly know the way, that are being rejected, that are not being heard, that's being pushed to the back, that's being persecuted for a lot of these different things that I'm saying right now, that a lot of people are going to have problems with, quoting scriptures left and right, making it seem like you done lost the way. When the Most High put these commandments into you and gave something greater than a lot of them that do not have it in them, in their minds, or in their ways. It's not able to come down and change their household and free them. A lot of people are being bound and condemned. And I'm tired of that condemnation because the Most High delivered me from that. No more am I bound. Now I have the spirit of adoption whereby I cry, Abba, Father, and He comes to my rescue. And the Most High comes to my rescue all the time. And it ain't really a He, but the Spirit comes. The Word comes. And it came and it was sent out to heal us. How in the world can we keep Passover and we not healed inwardly? How in the world can I keep the Feast of Trumpets and I'm not, and I don't even hear the voice that's sounding out in me? How can we be in the presence of the Most High and forsake His Spirit? How? But I ain't sitting here complaining, man, at Yahusha. Because I love Yahusha, but these things are being said because of love. And if it were not in me, I wouldn't say anything, because I would be just as confused as anybody else. But I'm holding on to what I know. And all y'all that's out there that truly the Most High is put this word inside of you and words inside of you. The true word of salvation, the true word which is deliverance that's in you. The healing of the Most High is in you. The love of the Most High is in you. And when you have received the Most High in your mind, and you confess them with your mouth, right? You confess them in your heart, which is in your mind, your thoughts, and your ways, and believed Him. And you walk these things out. Know that that very day that you receive the Most High, that you are healed. Know that that very day that you receive the Most High, that you are loved. Know that that very day that there is no demonic spirit that's coming against you that can stop you, or the words of the Most High that's in you, where you will never bow down to the faces of the man that's staring at you, man and women, families. Your own family's going to be coming against you because of the revelations that the Most High gave to you and freed you. There's going to be a lot of people out against you because they don't understand this freedom that you have in the Most High. And they don't understand why you are not zealous according to the flesh, denying the power like a lot of these people are doing. They're not going to understand why you're not zealous like them, denying the power. But if you have zeal, and your zeal is according to Yahuah and the Ruach that is in you, let the redeemed of Yahuah say so. Just because it doesn't look like it's here doesn't mean it's here. That's the same thing for wickedness. It don't look like war is here, but it's here right now. It don't look like these systems shut down, but it is right now. It don't look like this internet is shut down, but it is right now. And one of these days it's not going to be here. And we're going to have to know how to walk this thing out inwardly. And if we ain't never passed over in that part, we already done broke it. We done broke covenant with the Most High from the very jump. And we don't want to hear, depart from me, I never knew you, you workers of iniquity. Workers of lawlessness, which is workers of being being stubborn. Stubborn-hearted, minded people, which was spoken unto Azar. He said, I wish a lot of these people was like you, able to turn, willing to turn to me with your ways. Man, and I feel it. And I feel everything that my people is going through. It don't matter about my age. We had young kings out here. Mashiach was young and was teaching teachers and was asking questions even in a subliminal way because of how carnal a lot of these teachers was who were teaching Torah and did not have the understanding of what they was teaching and was causing a lot of people to be bound because even they didn't understand the things they was teaching. They didn't even have revelation of what they was teaching. The Most High called me out from the back to the front. And when He called me out, He caused me to pass over. He caused me to pass over from being in a place where I feel like I'm misunderstood and not knowing why. Being in a place of confusion and darkness. Having a friend. Having a brother that sticks closer than a friend. Having a father that will love you greater than any father that you have ever had or mother in this world. And we can never miss our father because we always had our father through our instructors or through whoever taught us or whatever has came our way to teach us. And the Most High is great and worthy to be praised and is eternal and is not coming but is here already when you receive and you open up the door in your heart and in your mind and say, I believe and I trust in you. And I will walk in these ways. Give me the grace. Give me the power to be able to do what it is that I need to do. How to serve you. How to cause my people. How to chisel. You know how a lot of them people with sculptures do? When they take them what's names, they beat it into a nice little form. They have to do it in an orderly fashion just to get it to look as beautiful as it does. But now the hearts are stony and need to be made where the Ruach can enter into it. But if it's hard, it can't make it in. If we don't listen, it can't make it in. He said, unless you eat my body and drink my flesh. He was saying that they wouldn't have any part with him. We don't have any part. Never have we received or received the word of repentance that the kingdom is at hand. And there was a great division amongst them from disciples, from people who was calling themselves following the Mashiach. These were a lot of people who claimed to follow him. And they were rejecting the way. They rejected him. And there was only 12 left over. There was only a remnant that was willing to understand and to heed and didn't care what the word was coming from. Didn't care how young they was. Wasn't holding them back just because they young. Wasn't holding them back because they was old neither. Was able to get along and come together for this one reason, which is to obey and to stop sinning and pray that the Most High pour out his power and understanding into our minds to deliver us from this traumatic and dramatic world and these happenings and wickedness and sin that has came to stop us. All these Nephilim that's raising up to stop us, to make you, to suppress your voice. Don't let the Most High, don't let these enemies shut up the voice of the Most High in you and in your mind. What's being spoken. Chosen ones. Be uplifted. And the ones that don't know and is coming across this and you having a hard time with a lot of things that I'm saying, and you ready to quote left and right, be careful, be aware what you doing. Because I tell you, it's a lot of people that speaking the same things I'm speaking right now all over this world. But it ain't many of them, but it's many of them at the same time. It's a remnant. And we saying the same thing. And we understand the same things. And we move the same way. We have some of the same problems. And some more than others. But we going through the same stuff right now. But we going to be able to come out of it together if we pass over in the Most High. We can't pass over from this carnality to a spiritual place from the carnal. The only way we can pass over is through the Spirit. Is if we receive the Spirit of the Most High in us. And truly ask the Most High to show you what these things meant. And stop following and trusting in man. And stop trusting in flesh. Let the Most High reveal these things to you. I'm confident on the things that I speak. Because it's not me that speak these things, but it's the Ruach Ha'Qadash that speaks through me to you. Be Barak, be blessed, man. And thank y'all for even taking the time to come through here. And thank you for even taking the time to run us back. Because it's not even about no fame or views or nothing like that for me, but it's for the true salvation. It's for eternal that's here already. Man, the revelation that the Mashiach is here, right now. To the Yahuah. And so be it. And I'm out. We have to pass over.